Hi there, welcome to Paint the Kitchen Red. I'm Nina and I share Instant Pot tips and recipes, and today I'm going to be telling you how to make brown rice. Now, I'm a recent convert to brown rice. I tend to make white rice and I love white rice, but I've been trying to eat a little healthier, and as much as possible I try to substitute brown rice for white rice if I can. And so I'm going to be telling you how to make brown rice two different ways. There are two methods of making brown rice. One is to cook it directly in the inner pot, and the second way is to use the pot-in-pot method. Now, the first way works great when you have a larger quantity of brown rice that you want to cook, but the second method, which is the pot-in-pot method, works great when you have a smaller number of people and you want to make less rice. So when I have my whole family at home, I will use the first method, and when my kids are off at college and it's just 2 or 3 of us, then I use the pot-in-pot method. And one of the reasons I really like pot-in-pot is it's just zero cleanup. So the container that you're cooking the rice in is going to sit inside the inner pot, and then you can even store the rice, the leftovers, in the same pot. So there's just much less cleanup, and it's just really convenient. And so I really like this method, and so I hope you get a chance to try it too. Now let's get started. You'll need to rinse the rice. I like to put it in a sieve and run it under the faucet. Now let's add the rice to the inner pot. If you wanted to, you could spray the inner pot with non-stick cooking spray. And once you've added the rice to the inner pot, add the same quantity of water as rice. So I use the same measuring cup I used to measure the rice for the water. In this case, I have 2 cups of rice, and I'm going to use 2 cups of water. You can also use broth if you wanted to. It adds a little more flavor to your rice. Use a spoon to stir up the rice so that all the rice is below the level of the water. Close the lid and program it to pressure cook on high pressure for 22 minutes. You'll see some steam coming out of the float valve, and at some point the float valve will go up and it'll be pressurized. Once the pressure cooking is done in 22 minutes, you can either let the float valve go down on its own, or you can release the pressure after about 15 minutes. Now let's open the lid and watch out for any steam. And I'm going to stir up the rice using the paddle that I got with the Instant Pot. If you have one of these paddles and you've never used it, I just recently discovered that it is extremely handy to stir up rice. So if you have one of these paddles sitting around in your drawer, try it out for stirring rice. As you can see, the rice is really well cooked and it's just fluffy and perfect. Alrighty, now we're going to make brown rice using the pot-in-pot or PIP method. So first thing you want to do is add a couple of cups of water to the inner pot. Now we place the trivet into the water. Now the level of the water should be below the level of the trivet, so if you have a little too much water, you can just take a little bit out. Now for pot-in-pot, what we want to do is take the rice and the water and put it into a container that'll fit into the inner pot. In this case, I'll put the rinsed 2 cups rice with 2 cups of water into a bowl. In my case, I like to use a 7-cup capacity Pyrex glass bowl. Just like with the previous method, we're going to close the lid and pressure cook for 22 minutes. And allow the pressure to release on its own or release pressure after about 15 minutes. Now we're going to open up the lid and watch out for the steam. And remove the trivet. If you need to use oven mitts or silicone mitts, go ahead and do that because the metal can be hot. Now using that spatula I mentioned earlier, Let's fluff up the rice. You can use a fork if you need to, if you don't have one of these spatulas that came with the Instant Pot. Now, fluffing up the rice is just a good idea because it just makes the rice nice and airy, and especially if the rice is going to sit for a little bit before you're going to serve it, by fluffing it up, it just makes it easier to serve later. Well, if you're someone who's tried to cook brown rice before on the stovetop, you know it can be hit or miss. Sometimes you have pieces of rice that just aren't cooked all the way through and it just takes forever. And I hope you get to try the Instant Pot version of brown rice because it works every time, it's consistent, and it's just much easier. So whether you use the pot and pot method or the directly in the inner pot method, either way, I think you're gonna like making brown rice in the Instant Pot. You may never go back to doing it on the stovetop. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.